Hello there, and welcome to the Pint-Sized Healing Podcast. My name is Max Thompson. Let's get started. Right, so last week we started talking about self-care and having different aspects to self-care um, that kind of open up what self-care really is and how it can play a part in your life. So I promised you I would share some different ways in which you can self-care that maybe you didn't even consider as being self-care. And so I made a list for us to these are just ideas and take them, run with them, and make them into your own thing because, self-care is about yourself. So these are things, activities, and ways that need to work for you in specific ways. So anyway, one thing that always it's the smallest action I think you can take, but it always really changes my day is to just after you get up in the morning make your bed. Just or even if you forget to do it in the morning or whatever before you go into bed, even if it's 5 minutes before you're going to go to bed, make your bed. Just because getting into a bed that's made is just feels nicer, and especially if I'm you know what, if I'm having a rotten day, sometimes I just change the sheets because getting into a bed with fresh sheets is like the best thing ever. So make your bed with or without the clean sheets depending on what you're feeling like. Another thing that is the most random thing that you can do but changes everything is just to dress nicely and start with nice underwear, right? I know that my mother always used to say, like, make sure there's no holes in your underwear because you never know what's going to happen. But let me tell you, I have been in a traffic accident where my clothes were cut off my body. And seriously, if the people who are doing that in the hospital are even remotely interested in your underwear, then you don't want to be in that hospital. So I wouldn't do it for that reason, but just do that because you know what? It just feels nicer when you're dressed nice. Even stuff around your house that you could do. Declutter. Find some stuff that you don't need anymore. Give it away to charity, maybe. Maybe some clothes that you haven't worn for a while. Pet charities often need things like old towels and things like that. So maybe have a look around your house and see if there's some things that you're not using anymore and that you could give to charity or that you could give to the thrift shop or you know um even if it's just going through one shelf in your wardrobe and just going through, do I still wear this? Do I still like it? We all kind of, you know, have, gather clutter around us, and sometimes just getting rid of some of that extra baggage just kind of makes you feel lighter. And if then you have an opportunity to give that stuff away, even though that doesn't may not sound like self-care, giving something away, it does because helping others and being of service to others is something that makes us humans happy. So that could be a really cool thing to do. Another way that another thing that I do is to keep a praise love yeah journal. In other my praise love yeah journal is really just a place where when I receive compliments or people do really nice things for me or say really nice things about me, I write them down because otherwise you just forget them. And when you're feeling a bit down on yourself, it can be really nice to kind of read things that people have said about you. And that can be, things that your partner says or does, or things that, compliments that you get at work for doing a good job, or, anything that, people say that really sort of make you feel good in that moment. Write them down so that you remember them. And then not just that, I mean, the act of writing them down is self care, but then also you've got this kind of lovely, positive document that you can refer back to when you're, a bit down on yourself. Um, Sometimes self care can be as simple as just doing something outside of your routine. And that could be, you know, take a different route to work. Make a left turn instead of a right turn and go around the other way around the block, or um, order a different coffee than you're used to. Try something new to eat for your lunch, or go to a different supermarket, or I mean, this list is endless, but try and do some things, maybe every day or every other day, that kind of break up the routine a little bit. It just kind of gives you that little bit of creativity and a little bit of, new things to try, and new perspectives on things. So that's a really easy way to do, or an easy thing to do, that it actually really is self-care. And sometimes it can be just get up. Just get up. If you're feeling super down on yourself and your world and your life, and you have no responsibilities to get up to today, still get up. Or stay in bed. Do you know what I mean? I know that's complete contradiction, but sometimes we push ourselves, even though we know that staying in bed would probably be a better thing. I did it the other day. I sat and I was like, no, I have to work, I have to work. And I was fighting to keep my eyes open. Now, I work for myself, so it's fairly easy for me to take a break whenever I want to. But I was sitting there fighting to stay awake, and after 3 hours of not being very productive, I may add, I decided to just take a nap. And I slept for about an hour, and after that I was fine and I could just work. And then I was beating myself up for not thinking of that immediately, but waiting for the 3 hours, or attempting to be awake for 3 hours, when clearly I needed some extra sleep. So, if you need the extra sleep, get the extra sleep. If you need to give yourself a little kick on the behind to get out of bed, get out of bed. Give yourself something to do that day that makes you get out, right? Get dressed. Don't stay in the pajamas all day. If you need that kind of kick up the behind, but if you're kind of been overdoing it, then by all means, go to the supermarket in your yoga pants. Don't go in your pajamas, though. That's just pushing it a little bit too far. But anyway, you can see that there's lots and lots of ways that you can self-care that maybe don't seem like self-care when you first think about them. So we are collecting a whole list of these for the self-care module in the Healing Academy, which will be coming out later this month. And yeah, so you can check that out. And oh man, I just completely lost train of thought there. That doesn't happen very often, does it? Anyway, I will see you next week when I'm talking to Christine Jutt, who will be talking with me about how you can self-care when self-care is the last thing on your mind. So please do join me for that. That's probably going to be a little bit longer podcast than you're used to from me, but it will be well worth the listen. So I hope you'll join us then. Thanks.